Hey everyone, and welcome to Game 3 of the semifinal match between Dunamai and, pardon me, Platypus Slayer. This is Game 3 of a best-of-5 series. I'm going to spoil the first two games for you real quick, so if you don't want that, go ahead and watch the first two games, and then report back and tell me what you thought of them in the comments below. Platypus Slayer is playing Malta. Dunamai is playing Spain. We're going to pop the scoreboard up for you real quick. There it is. This is match point. Dunamai going to one of his civs that got him to this point. Has been very effective with his decks so far. Platypus Slayer going with Malta, which Dunamai counterpicked with Spain, as well as Dunamai picked this map Darfur. So we're going to see if he has any strats prepared for this map specifically. Dunamai does. We'll find out in just a moment. Platypus Slayer using Malta and Spain to great effect this entire map, or this entire tournament so far, to get to where he is. Now remember, if Platypus wins this game, he goes on to the grand finals. And Dunamai gets sent to the losers finals, where he gets one more chance at winning the losers bracket to advance to the grand finals. So Dunamai not out of this tournament if he loses, which, little consolation for him, I suppose. We're going to find out exactly what happens here in just a moment. Platypus Slayer as Malta spawning in the north of the map. We're going to take a look at his deck. Never mind, he doesn't have one. I know for a fact Dunamai does because he's Spain. He is going with 7 sheep and 1 Homestead wagon as his first shipment. We have seen this deck before. This is a Lodge Sheep Station build. Not a Logistician build, a Lodge Sheep Station build. You heard that right. It's going to build a livestock pen, put all these sheep on the livestock pen, age up with the Logistician build, or with the Logistician, and send a whole bunch of age 1 shipments. Building a house and a trade post in age 1, sending that card versus 3 villagers, now sending 3 villagers. So pretty slow age up, but once it does get rolling, it does get rolling. Yes, I said that. We are professionals here. We're going to hop back over to Platypus Slayer, who surely has a deck yet. He does. Sending in 3 settlers. And I'm assuming Carmelite Churches is going to be the next card. That's crazy about the shipment curve with Spain. Obviously, Spain has now almost sent 2 shipments. And Malta just barely passed his first shipment, now aging up with the quartermaster, so 700 wood going to be arriving at the doorstep of the town center here in about, 90 seconds going into age 2. Probably about 80 from this point forward. Hopping over to Dunamai here, with Spain now getting his 3rd shipment. See what he does here, if he saves it or spends it. He is getting to the point where he's going to want to age. He's got his 17 vills. The giraffes are kind of getting away from him, but we're going to see a little fight here. Good old Largo going to be chasing over Deus Volta, or chasing away Deus Volta here. Dunamai going to be taking this 90 food treasure in the middle of the map, without any fight from Deus Volta here. Jimena de Wololo doing a very good job with her buddy Largo. So obviously saving this shipment, aging up with 18 vills, which is incredibly late for Spain. Going to be clicking up at about 4 minutes, which is unheard of. We'll see if this paid off. I mean, it does work. It has worked for him in the past. Now going up with the Logistician. So this shipment is going to be sent. He's going to get quite a bit of res from the shipment, whatever he decides to send. And these sheep slowly fattening. 7 out of 10 sheep on it. Fattening at, I don't know how fast they're going off the top of my head. Doesn't matter. We're going to hop over to Platypus Slayer, who has this shipment here, is age 2 now, and is going to send something eventually. I don't know what. German tongue, maybe? When he gets the wood for it? No. He's going to send 700 wood and figure out what to do with it then. Building a hospital, which is the Maltese version of the barracks, if you were not aware. And going to build probably some sentinels out of that. We'll see what he goes. He's only on 16 vills right now. Dunamai has the villager lead, is finally almost up to age 2, sending 300 wood as his first shipment. Has another shipment built up. We'll see what he sends. Probably something from age 1. Knowing people who go the route of the logistician, that, you know, you want to get your value from the logistician, so send as many age 1 cards as possible. You know, eco upgrades, so you could send economic theory. You could go stockyards, so livestock fatten more quickly. Llama ranching even is a thing. Or you could potentially, you know, just keep sending wood and stack the resources even further. The wood gets auto-deposited. Instead, going advanced markets for better exchange rate. He obviously is going to have a whole bunch of wood once these sheep fatten, and is probably going to want to sell those off. So we'll see what happens when he does that. Platypus Slayer sending in Wignacourt. Both players going pretty greedy so far. Only getting 1 sentinel out in that batch, so his macro's a little bit off on Platypus Slayer's part. Meanwhile, Dunamai is now down a villager. It was 16 to 18, now it is 20 to 19. Being sieged down by Deus Volta here. Jimena de Wololo chasing off the villager, or chasing off the explorer, with the dog arriving a little bit too late. That is 2 batches of crossbowmen for Platypus, or for Dunamai here. Is going to go crossbowmen, send economic theory, and we'll see what he does from there. Both players still greeting it up as much as they can. We'll see if Platypus Slayer is able to get out some more sentinels here. Instead, getting some Berber nomads from the Berbers. Surprise, surprise, you get the nomads from the I'm going to stop talking now. Not going to get more than 1 sentinel out. Getting another nomad, opting instead for those. And we'll see what goes on from here. So we've got crossbow and pike, so incredibly archaic oriented for Dunamai. Now trying to get another batch of crossbows, fully macroed in food and wood, nobody gathering coin. House going down so he doesn't pop himself. Going about 50-50 with a few extra on the wood side, so he will be able to build a pop and maintain full pops of crossbows and pikes as he goes out. Let's see here. Full sentinel mass for Platypus Slayer here as we turn Fog of War on to see what he sees. Now on 25 villagers, ecoing away, has sent Wignacourt, so you have to give the eco advantage to Platypus Slayer, who, you know, now on 26 villagers, Wignacourt improving construction speed, or gathering work rate, by 30 total percent when they're near outposts and commanderies. So huge eco advantage for Platypus Slayer, who, a little bit over 30%. Villager count about even. Dunamai down 2 villagers, so able to catch up a little bit, or at least maintain. Going full archaic, now training more pike. So this is 30 crossbows. And I don't know where his pikemen went. He did have pikemen at one point. Oh, he only has 5. Nope. Where are they? You. Yeah, he still only has 5 pike. Is that it? Yeah, 5 pike. Not doing anything with them. As we see Platypus pushing in now with his mass of Order Hussar trained from the racks. We'll hop over to his perspective as this battle is going to go down. So these crossbows are going to deal with the sentinels here. But the pikes need to come out and deal with the hussars so that the crossbows don't go down. These crossbows are a little bit squishy when hussar get on top of them. But the mass is fairly large, and chasing the mass away is Dunamai. Pikemen in the back. Some more pikemen finally showing up. And there we go. The Order Hussar connecting with the pikes. Or with the crossbows as the pikes come through the mass and ended up gonna snag 2 Order Hussar. So this is a pretty good push from Dunamai here. A huge mass going in, and we'll see what he does here. He's going to back off. Interesting decision. Potentially not knowing what else that Platypus has here. Probably doing the right thing, gonna sit back and boom, but you don't want to let Malta boom for too long. Archaic Infantry hit points coming in. He's probably waiting for this final card, knowing that Plat has gone Hussar. This will get the crossbowmen a little bit of extra HP, 15 extra HP, maybe going to be able to tank one more hit. And the pikemen obviously now at pikemen up at 138, 120 plus 18. Plat on the defensive, having to put some villagers in the town center. Market going to be sieged down potentially for Dunamai here. Doesn't quite know what he wants to do. He wants to come around. He wants to find some vills, but not finding any, as all the vills are on the opposite side under a commandery. We're going to turn Dunamai's Fog of War on here. Yeah, not seeing any villagers. Doing a good job of exploring the map, you know, keeping all his units together. But the mass for Platypus Slayer here is pretty big. It looks like he's going to be macroing for age 3, has a 1200 wood. Has already sent the 700 coin. I don't know where that went. Possibly into these sentinels. Possible into more of these Order Hussar. Dunamai's got a remass at the bottom, just waiting for reinforcements. It looks like they're coming in now. Order Hussar going to be diving in on these crossbows. These pikes a little bit out of position. No, not quite. Sentinel's going to be picking off the crossbows as one Order Hussar goes down. And Platypus having to overmanage his Hussar on the pikes as they just want to dive in. They said, hey, I see a unit, I go kill a unit, even if it's their counter, even if they're going to die. Kiting with the crossbows. A little pinch maneuver, going to have to decide where he wants the pikes to go, and unfortunately, the pikes stay on the side of the one crossbow, or of the one Hussar. Now, a whole bunch of Hussar diving in, forcing the pikes to get to these crossbows. These crossbows now firing in on a mass of sentinels and crossbows of their own. Where's the remass? The remass is back in base. Now all these crossbows hopping on the sentinels. I think the mass, these going into cover mode. The crossbows fighting, but this is the Wignacourt Eco now coming in. More Hussar coming in for Malta. Hiring Irish Brigadiers. Going to come in and try and clean up this mass. These pikes going to fight off the Hussar. But the Dunamai mass getting chased into the corner and has nowhere to go but to die at this point, I have a feeling. Yeah, these Hussar are just going to dive in and die. Crossbow being chased in all the way to the corner. All the pikes are dead. We're going to hop over here, and we're going to see Jimena de Wololo sniping some villagers who is going to be very unsuccessful in doing so. I've completely, yeah, there it is. It's all dead. The remass is here. It is all crossbows, though. Now commandery going up for Platypus Slayer here in the middle of the map. Are these crossbows going to see it? They are. They're going to get two villagers down. Potentially try and siege this down? No. He's going to back away. Does not have the pike mass to deal with that quite yet. Irish Brigadiers now showed up for Platypus, who I'm sure wanted these to pop up here. And here is the mass, the main mass of units. Bearing down on the middle of the map in this commandery. We'll see what Dunamai has to counter this. He's got, 10 pikes. And 17 crossbows. So a decent mass going to be alive by the time Platypus gets here. Platypus not deciding to push in yet. Instead has this commandery in place. More sentinels being trained. We'll hop over to him, see what he's doing. He's sending Papal Bull. He's sending the advanced church card. Very good card. Lots of good techs for Malta. I'm going to be able to use those to great advantage. More Berber nomads. So on top of Wignacourt, these Berber nomads going to be receiving a 30% buff when they're around more commanderies. And the Berber nomads are already very good gatherer units. So, 35 villagers to Dunamai to 32. But obviously the Berber nomads to consider and Wignacourt to consider as well. Dunamai going to age 3 with the bishop. So going to get a second town center behind all of this, expand his base a little bit, maybe try and capture these hunts, that gold mine, which is currently uncontested right now. And, doing a good job of macroing, trying to get any lead that he can on his opponent right now.
I give you thanks that you ransomed me.
Ransoming his explorer. Doesn't have the eco to age up yet. Might be thinking about it soon, seeing as there's been quite the lull in the action. Instead opting to push in. This might be a bad decision for Platypus. A lot of these Hussar are not fully healed, and there's a lot of pikemen for Dunamai here. Hussar diving in and having to be chased away by the crossbow or by the pikes. These bows taking advantage, gonna pop some shots off. Dunamai doing a good job of protecting his base right now, popping vills in the town center only when necessary. Hop over to, we're still on Platypus Slayer, who is sending Berber camel riders now. The goon type unit, as Platypus going to be pressured by Dunamai here. The Irish Brigadiers are going to be dealing with the pikes. They're musketeer units, so the bows will counter them. But the Brigadiers do benefit from promotion, so all you got to do is kill a unit or two, and they get bonus health. They get bonus attack speed or just regular speed. I'm not sure how they promote off the top of my head. But now we see the eco from Platypus Slayer. Even though he is now officially an age down, the eco from Platypus is kicking off. The battle has taken place. The pikes are going to be hopping on these Order Hussar, who are trying to dive on the crossbow. The crossbow going to try and try and kite the militiamen and all the infantry. But Platypus doing a really good job microing the pikemen down, as we see some camel rider raids in the back. And only now with crossbowmen does Dunamai have only 13 crossbowmen. Let's take a look at the rest of his military. He's only got the Minutemen and the crossbowmen on the field, and these Hussar are on top, and these villagers are not doing great. Not in a great position. We're going to hop over to Dunamai, who doesn't have any vills in this TC right now, and doesn't look like he's going to get any in. He's having these villagers fight the Hussar, which is an interesting decision. Platypus spamming that Order Hussar button, knowing that his opponent is going for mostly archaic units and mostly crossbows at that. These vills going to go down. As we'll pop over to Dunamai real quick here, who has 18 idols in the town center, has all these llamas. I think he's sent llama ranching, is training llamas. But why? But why is the only question I can ask right now, as these camel riders are going to be finding the haciendas. Villagers going to have to pop in the hacienda or the town center, one of the two. This first town center looks like it's going to go down, as Dunamai just does not have the res to fight Platypus Slayer right now in his own base. All this food just kind of laying here, unable to be gathered right now. Dunamai doing his best to fight this. As the Falcons come in, didn't see that come in, and the Camel Rider's going to be hopping right on the Falcons. Villagers trying to shoot the Camel Riders down. Crossbowmen under now fire from Sentinels and Crossbowmen. There goes the Falcons. Villagers popping back in the town center. Town center about at half health right now. So really unfortunate that the Falcons go down. They do take some of these infantry units down, but there's not much. We see a llama exodus here. Interesting decision. I don't think these llamas were ever in fear of being captured, but oh, that's what he's doing. He's sending some villagers down to go eat the llamas, sacrificing this town center, knowing he has a second one. Still an age up on Platypus Slayer. By no means out of it yet. He can let this town center go down. He can rebuild. He does have quite a few idle villagers. But I think Dunamai thinks that's okay right now. He is down 5k in score, so he's going to have to do something pretty drastic. Yep, the llama's being deleted in mass. While Dunamai gathers up enough food from them, probably going to have to gather some coin or market sell some of that food in order to build some more units. There's 5 crossbowmen coming out. Now these Order Hussar are going to come up and find the second town center. As we see 5 Hussar being shipped in for Spain here. And more crossbowmen being trained from the racks. These camel riders are not going to be ideal against these crossbow, but they will do the job for sure. These crossbow, again, only on 135 health right now. Slowly, these brigadiers are sieging down the racks. The racks not getting the pop out. And Dunamai has some wood now. Perhaps getting a little bit flustered again as Platypus applies the pressure, has 370 wood and is not spending it on anything, knowing that this rack is going to go down. You need to put something up here. He's got the stable in the back. He's got some Hussar and some crossbows here. But the stable needs to be training units. He's got 1,200 wood. Maybe sell some wood for some coin, get some... or food for some coin, get some more Hussar out. Platypus now retreating, having taken down a TC and 2 barracks, done plenty of damage, now sitting on a 6k score lead. I'm going to hop over to him real quick. Shipment in queue, training some Order Hussar, sending in Armored Pistoliers as his next shipment. Fully macroed on 48 villagers, doing a really good job on that point. 48 to 33, which is even worse. I mean... that's like 62 villagers, 61 villagers that Plat is on in the if every villager is in Wignacourt range, which is a huge, you're almost doubling what Dunamai has if everything's in Wignacourt range. These commanderies scattered around, and I'm sure there's going to be some outposts scattered around the res. Is that another town center going to go down? Yep, so Wignacourt range for these hunts here. Eco in full swing. Platypus did go up to age 3. We missed that. Probably going up with the bishop for this town center. That's where he got it, would be my guess. And Plat content to sit around and boom. Wait for these Armored Pistoliers to push in as we pop over back to Dunamai. See what he's doing. Having eaten up all those llamas. Finally building something. Okay, you've got 2 more barracks up. He's got the stable. Pumping out Lancers. Probably a pretty good call, knowing the unit comp that Platypus Slayer here is all Sentinels and Crossbowmen. These Lancers going to do work when they do pop, but here's the push. I don't think Dunamai is ready for this push yet. He doesn't have enough units. Maybe these Sentinels will be sieging down the market. Nope, they're going to dive straight in. Berber Camel Riders taking the brunt of the first hits. And then diving in on the Sentinels, diving in on the crossbows. Crossbows, and musketeers, I guess. Sorry, these are not... it's a mix of crossbows and musks. Either way, they're all dying. The Order Hussar get wiped or the regular Hussar get wiped by the Order Hussar and the Sentinels in melee. Musketeers coming in, more Order Hussars coming in, and the Lancers are just sitting there. I think Dunamai knows this one is over. He has lost his mass. He is going to lose his second town center. Training skirms, which is an interesting decision. Too strong for me, he says. Never mind. Going to call good game. Folks, that is it. We have our first finalist. A well-deserved win indeed for Platypus Slayer. Moves on to the grand finals. Sweeping Dunamai in 3 games. Record game playback finished. There it is. Platypus Slayer moves on. Dunamai gets sent to the lower finals, where he will have his last chance to fight for a spot in the grand finals against a player to be determined. It will be the winner of TO and LFS, I think, will move on. That was the last series that got uploaded to this channel. You can take a look at that if you haven't seen it yet. I don't know who won that series, but we will see it when it gets uploaded to the channel. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked what you saw, leave the like on the video. If you want to see more, subscribe, do all the things, join our next tournament. In the link in the description, you will find the Discord link to the server where we do tournaments and stuff. And yeah, anything else to tell you? I don't think so. Thank you again very much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.